Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rapid Response. We've got some great clips for you. Well, are they great clips? I don't know because I haven't seen them either. So we're going to see them for the first time together. So hopefully, you're going to get a kick out of that. And I will see you on the other side.
And you can sort of see the effect it has on him to be around them. Like they spoil him. There's sort of all the classic stuff that grandparents do to grandchildren, but it makes him a much better human being to have exposure to his grandparents.
Well, I don't know.
And the evidence on this, by the way, is like super clear.
That's the whole purpose of the post-menopausal
Yes.
female in theory. Did your in-laws, and particularly your mother-in-law, show up in some huge way?
She lived with us for a year.
Right.
So,
So I didn't know the answer to that.
Right. No,
because that's this weird unadvertised feature of marrying an Indian woman.
No, it's in some ways the most transgressive thing I've ever done against sort of the hyper neoliberal approach to work and family. My wife had this baby 7 weeks before she started the clerkship. It was still not sleeping any more than an hour and a half in a given interval. And her mom just took a sabbatical. She's a biology professor in California. Just took a sabbatical for a year and came and lived with us and took care of our kid for a year.
Okay,
and it was just one of these things where it's like, this is what you do.
So a biology professor, PhD,
yes,
drops what they're doing,
yeah,
to immediately tend to the needs of a new mother with her infant.
Painfully economically inefficient. Right?
Can I just propose?
Like why didn't she just keep her job, give us part of the wages to pay somebody else to do it, right? Because that is the thing that the hyper liberalized economics wants you to do. The economic logic of always prioritizing paid wage labor over other forms of contributing to a society is to me, it's actually a consequence of a sort of fundamental liberalism that is ultimately going to unwind and collapse upon itself.
It has to.
I think it's the abandonment of a sort of Aristotelian virtue politics for a hyper market oriented way of thinking about what's good and what's desirable. If people are paying for it and it contributes to GDP and it makes the economic consumption numbers rise, then it's good. And if it doesn't, it's bad. I think that entire sort of, to me, that's sort of the root of our political problem.
Somebody, please ask him, what does Aristotelian virtue politics mean in this context? Right? Ask him that question. Not that was the most mind-bogglingly awful thing about that conversation. I want to listen to a couple of misogynist incels tell me what women should be doing with their time. Oh, so much wrong there. First of all, his mother-in-law did not quit her job. She went on a sabbatical. So she had a job to go back to. That's sort of what it means. Many sabbaticals, you get paid while you're off and you could do whatever you want. You could write a book, you could do research, you could help raise your grandchild. Also, I'm just speaking from personal experience. It is not always a good thing to be around your grandparents. Not saying that Mrs. Vance's mom isn't a great grandma. A lot of people suck at it. Okay, so he seems to be, and also, like, what exactly did he do that was transgressive? It's how things used to work before we developed an economy that was almost exclusively to benefit men, and usually many men with money. So yeah, it's just that it's the misogyny, the racism. Like, is that what Indian women? What is that? Like, like he knows anything about this culture that he married into? I don't know. The guy is so despicable that it's it's that fine line we need to keep walking, right? We want to keep the energy enthusiasm up while still staying alert to the dangers facing us. We want to make sure that everybody on the planet knows what a weird little creep JD Vance is without ignoring what he's out there articulating in his, Aristotelian virtual political way. It's like nonsense. It's complete nonsense. So strip away what he seems to think is intellectual discourse. And what you get is such a deep hatred of women, such a deep fear of women's independence, economic and otherwise, such a revulsion against the idea that women have autonomy and can make decisions that go against what JD Vance seems to think that the little woman should be doing. Um it's it's very alarming. And the idea that he actually is worse than Donald on anything is pretty fascinating. But I think we have to give this one to him, except, of course, only Donald is the adjudicated rapist. So quite a pair. Thanks for being so open and honest, though, JD. It's really helping.
She says she's having fun. But while she's having fun, Americans are suffering under her policies.
What policies?
When she laughs during a speech, remember that there are American families crying this very day because they cannot afford groceries. When she does these rallies and does these events and does these fake dances, remember that there are parents who lost their children to drugs or violence who will never see their children move again, much less dance again. When she tells you, and this is her new slogan, we're not going back, remember that for 3.5 years, that is exactly what we've been doing. We've been going back to a place where Americans aren't kings in their own country, but paupers, begging their government for precious scraps of safety, security, and food. We are going back, Kamala Harris, because of you, and we're going to fire you because we want to take this country forward.
I, too, want to fire Vice President Kamala Harris and promote her to president. See, that was easy. JD Vance and I agree on something. By the way, what is a fake dance? Like, if you're dancing, how is that fake? Not clear. I have a motto. This is the motto I try to live by. Never live your life comparatively, right? So basically what JD Vance, and he's channeling this from Donald, everything's terrible. It's all apocalypse. It's all dystopia. So therefore, you can never, ever enjoy anything. And to laugh, to put out of your mind for a moment the suffering of other people, even people you don't know and who are very distant from you, is to prove that you are unworthy of being human. What? Like, is that really what we're doing now? That there can be no joy until we have solved all of the problems and until people stop being hungry and stop being addicted and stop dying. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Let's do those things, JD. Let's stop those things. You don't have any interest in doing any of that. What you and Donald want to do is keep perpetuating the suffering because that is the only thing that gives you your power. You corrupt, cruel little man.
She's so good looking. She's so smart. She's so wealthy. She's so funny. She's close to her mom. She goes on really cool vacations. She'll never break your heart.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
So do I. Kellyanne, when did you come over to the dark side? Oh, wait, sorry. You were on the light side. When did you come over to the light side? Welcome to the resistance. So good of you to join us. I'm guessing that was taken out of context, but sometimes the only time these people tell the truth is when they're lying. It's a fascinating phenomenon. Um, so yeah, thanks for the ad. Thank you so much for joining me. And one more time, a quick favor, if you could click the subscribe button, it would be very much appreciated. It doesn't cost anything. It just means you're going to be alerted every time new videos drop, which is pretty much every day here at Mary Trump Media, with much more to come. We're going to be at the Democratic National Convention next week in Chicago. A core group of nerds are going to be on the ground bringing you amazing content, great interviews from beginning to end. We'll keep you posted about the schedule. And again, thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for liking the videos, for sharing them. It's all amazing, and we're just going to keep going with this. Thanks for your help, and we will see you soon.